Welcome to the Inspiration Station hosted by Joshua Lenox, the place to fill up your tank if you're in need of encouragement and motivation.
Welcome to the Inspiration Station. Well, what do we do over here, y'all? We upsize in 2025 all day, every day. Welcome to November the 14th, 2025. I cannot believe I'm saying this. I feel like, y'all, Thanksgiving is less than 2 weeks from now. And I remember Thanksgiving very vividly from last year. And I mean, here we are again. I mean, it's one of my favorite times of the year. Don't get it twisted. It's just things have gotten here in an accelerated way. I know I'm not the only one that feels that, right? And I know y'all are probably like, Josh, you say this every week, but I'm going to say it again. It's moving so quickly, y'all. So I hope that everyone is having an amazing Friday and still having an amazing Friday. And again, as I always tell y'all, if you've had any challenges today or if you have any challenges even at the current moment, let that just be another indicator of reminding you that you can overcome anything and you can push past anything, you can press past anything, and there's nothing that can stop you. There's nothing that can hinder you, no matter the challenge. And again, sometimes we need that resistance so we get a little bit more stronger than we have been before, right? So hey, everybody on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, LinkedIn Live, Amazon, Audible, Apple, Spotify. I got it that time, y'all. I'm doing good, y'all. Y'all can at least come on, clap it up or something. Like, give me a little bit more, support than that. Sometimes I'm stumbling through that because I'm like, okay, what platform is that? And it's the other one, but hello to everybody. Once again, I am so glad that you all are here. I know, as always, you all look forward to this time with me because it's the best part of your week. I know it is. It's the best part of your day. You don't have to share this with anybody because I don't want you to hurt anybody's feelings. However, we know the truth, right? So, if this is your first time, I just want to say welcome, and you're stuck with me, you're stuck with us, and there's no place that you can go at this time any longer. I'm sorry. It's just you're locked in now, and so you're here. You're definitely family. So, I'm glad that you all are here, and I hope that you all are going to enjoy what we're talking about tonight. The Inspiration Station is literally just you and I. It's about both of us. It's not this person who's the mouthpiece and just being a vessel that you're hearing right now. This is about you as well. Inspiration Station, like I said before, all the time I say that, it was a nickname I was given because I was told that I was a person who seemed to send out things like signals on a frequency that everyone needed to hear. So here we are with that name, and we slapped it on this show and podcast, and we're going to run on and see what the end is going to be with it. But the Inspiration Station is literally about how you are an inspiration to any and everyone who crosses your path. But most importantly, you're an inspiration to yourself. There's so many things you can look back at your own life and you can be able to continue to move forward in anything and through anything because you've done it before. And also, it's a reminder to say, again, I can do anything I put my mind to, and I can get through anything that I stand in at the moment because I have so many different chronicles of my life or episodes of my life that I can go back and rewatch over and over again to give me a little bit more courage to push forward in whatever I'm dealing with currently. So also, what can we expect here? We're being open, honest, and vulnerable, not only with each other, but also to ourselves. Because as I say, often the greatest relationship that is neglected is the one that we have with ourselves. Also, there will be some people coming on soon. Y'all, the holidays is coming up and stuff, but listen, it's coming. So y'all just get ready. There will be some people that'll be sitting on the other side of me on the screen that I will be interviewing. People you may know very well and people you may have met for the first time. But guess what? You're going to know them as they come on here and know them well as they share their gems and wisdom with us to keep us going a little bit more. As we always say on the Inspiration Station, it's not just about being inspired, being encouraged, and being motivated, but you're actually going to be moved to do something, move your feet, move to action. Even if that starts just with a thinking, you're changing your way of thinking that moves you in a different direction than you have been before. Okay. So again, I hope that everything has been going really well. I know some of y'all are ready for the holidays. If you are, let me know because I know I am. I love to cook. I don't know if y'all know that I love to cook, but especially for Thanksgiving, I love to cook the whole thing. Sometimes I let my mom, she does a couple, maybe like two things or whatnot, and I'll do everything else. But that's something I love to do. Cooking is like therapy to me. So where I can relax, I'm humming, I'm all these different smells and things are going on in the kitchen, and putting things in the oven, pulling things out the oven, all that stuff is that's wonderful for me. So if you would like a plate at some point or whatnot, just let me know. I might be able to ship that to you. And if you're international, yeah, we'll figure it out. But I hope everybody is again doing very well, and again remembering that we are here still on this earth and on this planet, in this country, in whatever country you're in, whether you're overseas or you're in the United States of America, for an indefinite purpose. Right now, someone very significant to me in my life and very valuable, they're always saying that if you have a pulse, then that means God has a plan. If you have a pulse, then God still has a plan. So each of us still have a plan that's laid out for our lives, because He knows the plans that He has for us. And there's so many things that we still have left to do as we're here. So just keep being encouraged in that, knowing that you think you're doing something right now, but there's still much more for you to do. So much more also for you to be, and so much more for you to become. So we are going to jump right on in, y'all, because I know y'all don't want to belabor the time and things of that nature, and you're just ready to hear what are you about to talk about tonight, Josh. I'm glad you asked. But also, please, and thank you. Keep sharing as you all are doing. I am seeing the numbers that are just continue to increase. And I again say, and I just give God all of the glory. It's because of Him. And it's something that's kind of funny we're going to be talking about tonight. Again, you can start doing something that you never planned to do and you watch it grow. If you build it, God will send the people, whatever that is, whether that's a business, whether that is your career, whether that is a building, whatever, several different ways we can look at that. If you build it, the people will come. So I'm so grateful and thankful. And again, this is not about just Josh. This is about all of us, right? We're all in this together. So topic tonight is just called Express Yourself. Express Yourself. There's a couple of songs have that title, Express Yourself, by the Staple Singers. Made very popular in the 70s. Some of you may know the lead singer, Mavis Staples, but also Salt and Pepper, which shout out to them, Salt and Pepper and Spinderella. They were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame here recently, so shout out to them. Spinderella actually was the first female DJ to ever be inducted, so much love to Salt, Pepper, and Spinderella. But they had a song in the 80s called Express Yourself. And it was, I express yourself. Don't tell me what I cannot do, baby. Don't tell me what I can't do. I need to be exactly authentically who I am. So express yourself. But the way I want to frame this is thinking about how there are things about ourselves that we suppress. Things about yourself that you don't literally live out or express or say or do because you suppress certain things. And to say that, I want to say suppression can lead to depression. What is suppression? Suppression are things that happen in our lives, whether we think on it, we speak on it, we encounter it, and we tend to just push it down. We continue to push things down, and eventually we continue to push so much down until we can no longer hold anything, and we have an explosion, right? And I want you to think about this. It's saying that suppression leads to depression. I want you to think about a vacuum for a minute. Some of you all don't know, I love to vacuum, even if it's even if it's somebody else's house and they're like, oh, I need to vacuum. Let me do it. I'll do it. But I love to vacuum. But if you remember, I was gonna say back in the day and even now though, if you are vacuuming, you might do one sweep through the house or whatnot, and you might not need to empty it, even though you need to empty it every time, ladies and gentlemen, just in case. That's just a disclaimer. But if you're vacuuming over and over and over and over and you never empty the thing out, well, eventually it's going to stop picking up dirt. It's going to stop picking up, period. And eventually it might start to spill over and then explode in a way, or things start to come out of the vacuum itself. Back in the day when we had to have bags, that literally what happened. That bag could explode if you ain't emptied it out, if you haven't emptied it out. But my point is, how much can you keep sucking up, taking, tolerating? Maybe it's something that, that's almost like if you are in a relationship, or maybe with your siblings, your family, your colleagues, your boss, you have some issues with them and they keep saying stuff to you or doing stuff to you and you don't ever address it. So you just allow it to just keep on sitting. You just keep pushing it down and keep acting like nothing's wrong. And then eventually, whether it's with those people or somebody might step on your toe and then you just pop off and it's like, where in the world did this come from? It's like, oh, wait. I've been suppressing so much stuff. So then it also leads to depression. I'm not going to go into the clinical term of that. I want you to think about depression as in a way of like volume on a remote control, volume on in your car, volume. I said volume. Y'all know that's medication, but your volume on a radio. I think about the big dial on the radio back in the day. I'm telling on myself a little bit, but the little you turn it or whatnot, and think about that in your life as when with depression, the more and more sometimes things continue to happen or things you push down, things you don't address, things you are affected greatly by that you don't confront and that could be anything, the volume continues to get lower and lower and lower and lower in your life. That makes sense, y'all? If it don't make sense, make it make sense. But think about depression in a way of where you're turning your volume down. You continue to, so we turn the volume down, we don't hear, things are not as loud, not as clear, you're not as alert. Maybe you lack motivation. Maybe you're not doing the things that you used to do that used to be turned up and excited about. And I'm not talking about turned up in another way, if y'all know what I'm talking about, but turned up about life, excited, happy, having a lot of enjoyment in your life. That starts to turn down. So now it gets lesser and lesser and lesser. So now who you are is now turned down because you just harboring all of this stuff, and then eventually, where is it going to go? If you're not addressing it or if you're not regulating it, those emotions or whatever, or confronting things, where is it going to go? It has nowhere to go. So my even align with that is just don't suppress what you need to express. I'm pretty sure all of you right now, and it's okay, don't you feel bad or guilty. We all in here can learn and grow and heal together. But I'm pretty sure many of you in here are probably suppressing some things right now that you need to express. Maybe it's some things against people, family members, friends, again, your boss, maybe even yourself that you need to confront, or maybe even your past that you continue to push down. Oh, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to talk about it. And that's a great line as we're coming up on holidays. You see family members and you see that person. It's like, ooh, stay on that side of the house. Don't come over here. Don't come over here. And it's like, what if you need to go? You need to go talk to that person or and let them know how you feel. Without violence or anything like that. But maybe there's some things in your life right now that you are still holding on to and don't want to address or are afraid to address. Let me say something else too, really quick. Well, I don't know why this dropped on me, but I feel like sometimes a person can suppress and they lose their voice because their voice has been attacked. If you've been a person who has tried to defend yourself, or you've been a person who wanted to speak up about stuff and you get met with strong reactions, such as maybe emotional abuse, maybe mental abuse, and maybe even physical abuse that might come across. So it causes you to, or even just people yelling at you, being condescending, ignoring you. Mocking you, whatever it is. So you learn that I don't, if this happens over and over again, I think I'll just keep my mouth closed. Or maybe in times where something happened to you as a child, or maybe something happened to you as an adult, and you try to confide in someone to let them know that you needed help, or that something detrimental happened to you. You were trying to confide in them, and they maybe thought you were lying, or they were not a person who was present with you. They were not a person who was trying to comfort you. You learn to just push things down and say, you know what? If anything happens to me, I'll just be quiet. One of the I want to use an example. When we think about the movie The Color Purple, the original one with Whoopi Goldberg, Oprah Winfrey, Danny Glover, people of that caliber. Celie was a great example of keeping her. She suppressed a lot. You lose your sister, your best friend, the best thing, the person who only person, she was the only one that ever loved me. Lose your sister. You're sold off in a sense, given to some man who could care less about you. You just a maid and somebody he can do his business on. That's what she said. If y'all know what that means, just read between the lines. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But she never got to really be authentically her. She never got to be free. She never got to have any choices. She never got to speak up. She never got to advocate for herself. She had to go along to get along, basically. And what we don't always hear, she was dealing with abuse as well. So it took until so many years of her being tired and then finding them letters. Suge found those letters, and when she got in that room and let her read her sister's letter, she started getting a little bold and standing up. But it took that table scene for her to say, you know what? I'm tired of holding my tongue. I'm tired of being quiet. I'm going to say some stuff. I'm going to have a smart mouth, even to the point where she had to get up and put a knife to Mister's throat just to let him know, like, I'm not scared of you anymore. Think about how many people, and maybe even including yourself, there have been things in your life you just always pushed down. You've always just hidden from others and yourself, and it's eaten you alive. And it's been painful. It's caused depression again, caused sadness, loneliness, anger, rage, abandonment, rejection, neglect, all of this shame, guilt, whatever that is, all of these things you tuck down. And let me say something to you. We think those things just disappear, but they will show up in your behavior. They will show up in your relationship patterns. They will show up in your inconsistencies in your life. So when we think about the things that we might push down, and even think right now, what are some things you think that you're tucking down, pushing down, you don't feel safe talking about with anybody? You think you can smile and have a mask and just move on like it's like you are ignoring it, but it's going to come up at some point, and it's going to be in a place of where you might explode or you might implode. Implode is just the opposite of explode. Explode is something we see externally. Imploding is what we see internally, which we might not see, but that person will feel. Which again, sometimes that can be something that takes apart. We know. Think about a smoke detector when you have a battery in there and it's not making noises in the background. But when you have a smoke detector, it go when it's in use with something smoke or something that's happening or a fire, it's gonna alert you. It's gonna give a great alert to let you know, hey, something's wrong. That's what happens inside of our bodies. Sometimes you're thinking like, oh, I need to go to the doctor because I keep having this pain right here. I keep having this heartburn, or I'm having stomach issues. I got IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. I have something's going on. I keep getting these tight pains and things like that. I can't sleep. I'm getting real tight. What do you think is happening? Your body is alerting you to let you know. It's not always some health issue. It can be, but it could be because you're holding things in your body that you need to get out. So if I'm going to implode, it's my body's going to feel it. I don't have to scream, I don't have to yell, but I'm starting to have pains on the inside. Now, go with me really quick. Do y'all remember the song? What's it say? Big girls don't cry. Big girls, they don't cry. They don't cry. Yes, they do. That was a song from way back decades. Big girls don't cry. And what that song is meaning that if you're of a certain age, as an older little girl or young lady, you shouldn't be crying. Big girls don't cry. Now, be a big girl, all right? Now stop all that crying, okay? And then what about the other saying? You telling a little boy, be a man when he starts to cry. Come on, be a man. Stop crying. Come on, tough it out, man. You a man. Be a man. And it's like he's not a man. He's a child. If he's crying or sad, can we sit down and ask him what's going on with him? Can we allow him to talk about what he's feeling? Can we try to put some labels to some of his emotions that maybe he doesn't understand? And the same thing with a girl, a little girl. These are things that maybe even you all have heard. I know, especially in the African American community, I have heard "be a man" several times, even when I was a child. It wasn't directed at me, but I would see it, and I still see it sometimes from a distance, especially like you're playing sports or something. Now, there's a certain time where you're wanting somebody to just kind of toughen up or whatnot, but at the same time, you might want to take a moment to ask the child what's going on with them, help them regulate, help them know what's going on so that they can regulate on their own. Because what happens is now when we have this young man grow up and now he's angry, furious, and he's wanting to fight everybody, he's always popping off at the mouth, always getting in and out of trouble. I wonder why he has nowhere else to express himself, or doesn't know how to give he doesn't have vocabulary to properly assess what he's feeling. So I'll externalize it. I'll externalize it. Or what can also happen is that you'll look for things outside of you to bring you relief because you don't know how to regulate within. Also, I think that this leads to a person suffering in silence. Many times, I know I've had several clients sometimes, especially when I used to see kids all the time, you guys. I couldn't do that but for so long because I was like, they don't belong to me, and I feel like I might throw one of these kids across the room. But anyway, you might that you or a child or even an adult, you end up suffering in silence because you don't have anyone. That's why I was talking about last week with the therapy. If you need a therapist, don't hold back to want to have somebody to hold space for you. If you don't, especially if you can't hold, you can't be a therapist to yourself. But also, you might have people that you can confide in that might be wise counsel for you. But you might be suffering in silence because you're scared to talk about certain things that you withhold because you're so used to holding it together. You're so used to making sure everybody else has what they need, and you're helping them regulate themselves, but you're on the inside suffering. Because also you probably are not you're not used to people coming to your aid, coming to you to let you know that they support you, that they understand, or to let you know that these things, they try to normalize things for you to let you know you're not crazy for feeling sad, lonely, angry, feeling like you're no good, you're not good enough, or maybe somebody says something to you, you want to confront them about it, but you feel like it's not going to do any good. Uh, Also with that, I think that comes from, and y'all go with me, I'm almost done. But when you're neglected often, I'd start as in childhood. First of all, you start, I'm sorry, I'm jumping around, probably I'm getting excited. But if you think about, let's see, there's the Erickson psychosocial stages. From ages zero, so from birth until 18 months, this is where you learn trust versus mistrust. If you're not seen, if you're not given a lot of nurturing, a lot of care, a lot of, some of y'all probably don't remember back those in those times. I remember when I was 18 months, but that's because there was a traumatic situation that happened to me. I think that's why I can remember it. But that's when you're learning whether the world is safe or not. That's when you're also learning if your family is safe or not. But not only that, think about if you maybe some of y'all maybe have were children, if you had siblings, or if you didn't have siblings, but you had a household where there was certain levels of stress. You saw your parents under certain levels of stress, pain, but they maybe smiled and act like nothing was wrong, everything's okay. But you could sense things were off or that things weren't so good for one of your parents or either both of them or for your siblings. So you may have told yourself or internalized, I'm going to be the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm going to be the child, or I'm going to be the person in my family, in my group of friends, at my job. I'm going to be the person who brings light, who's the bridge, who's the problem solver. I'm not going to ever really talk about my issues and problems because I see everybody else has burdens and issues, and I don't want to be a burden to anybody. So I'll just tuck stuff down, smile, and act like everything's okay. And I'm going to make sure I take care of everybody else. And often it starts as a child. Often it starts as a child. Probably many leaders uh, have had those experiences where they see an issue and they immediately put the issues of others ahead of themselves to make sure everybody has what they need. Everybody is taken care of. You put a smile on people's faces. You don't want to be a problem child. You don't want to be the problem sibling. You don't want to be the problem coworker or the employee. You don't want to be the problem boyfriend or the problem girlfriend or the problem husband or problem wife. So it's like, I'm going to tuck all my stuff down and act like everything's all right until I can't. Because where is it going to come out? Maybe if I don't explode in a sense, maybe I start to look for external things to calm myself down or to be stress relievers. Maybe that's porn. Maybe that ends up being sex. Maybe that's any type of substance abuse, drugs, alcohol, food, working out excessively, shopping impulsively. I can go down the list, y'all. We can go there, but I can't, since nobody taught me how to regulate, I got to find ways to do it on my own. So since I can't do it for myself, I'll get something outside of me that might be unhealthy to help me deal with that. Am I making sense to y'all? So again, think about your own life. Even think about your life right now. What are some things right now you feel like you are not addressing because again, it hasn't always felt like that was the first thing or the priority to do, but it's showing up in other ways in your life. Also, if we are neglecting our own needs for the sake of other people, are we really good to those other people? Probably not. Probably not the most healthiest. Sometimes it's not whether this is good, bad, right, wrong, negative, positive. It's just whether this is healthy or unhealthy. So I want all of you as homework. I want you to think about what are some areas in your life or what are some things you might be suppressing that you need to bring to the surface so that you don't explode or that you don't implode. And also go back to your childhood and think about where were some instances in my life where I silenced myself in order to make sure everybody else was happy, or I silenced my authenticity or my advocacy for myself, especially because people usually who have a hard time asking for what they need are people who have always been so attentive to meet the needs of others. always been attentive to meet the needs of other people. So I hope that you all have gotten something from this tonight. One thing we want to say again, what suppression leads to depression. We don't suppress what we need to express. Big girls do cry. Little boys do not have to be men. There's no need for you to suffer in silence, especially when you can have trusted people around you that can provide a level of safety, security, and stability for you. That's been proven because sometimes you have to see someone be consistently trusted in your life to know that they can be trusted with the innermost parts of you that are hard for you to even articulate at times. Also, neglecting needs of your own to meet the needs of others is unhealthy. You do not have to care. I learned from Matt Kama a couple of years ago. He said, you can care, not carry. Sometimes you're carrying the burdens and the problems and the issues of your family, other anything you think about. You're carrying issues of other people or other things, and it's like this doesn't all belong to me. I can care, but I don't have to carry it. I can care, but I don't have to carry it. So, one last thing I want to say is I'm gonna give you one small story. I remember I prayed when I was really young. I was like, God, make me be a singer that I could sing any part. So if I'm in a choir, they can say, Josh, we short in the altos, go to alto. Josh, we short in the sopranos, go to sopranos. I was gonna always, in a sense, be default tenor. I didn't know what I was asking for because that's exactly what happened when I got older. And I was thinking like, oh Lord, like what have I got myself into? And it would be like the director or somebody. I mean, sometimes it wasn't short. They just be like, Josh, hit this note. And I'd be like, why are you picking me to do this? Or I started getting songs to lead that were not what I was comfortable with. Y'all, I didn't sing my first actual lead in church until I was 20. And it was a very churchy song. And I was kind of like, I'm just getting a vibrato. Like, I don't know if I could sing like this. And, but I felt like every time I would sing the song, and it was a song that started to get requested a lot. And then as I started the years were going by, people were asking me to sing it in the city, in Nashville, everywhere. And I was just like, other things were trying to come out and I was fighting it. And it was other things such as like a higher range. Like, I might start in a tenor sound, a tenor range, but then it's like certain notes were trying to come out that were like soprano. And I was just like, what is it? And I was trying to fight it until I couldn't any longer. It was like it was something in me that just had to come out. Something had to come. And I was like, it wasn't so much. I was used to being the person who stood out. I was used to being the unique person, the person you didn't, almost like a wild card in anything that I did. But it wasn't that I was always just running to accept it either. So I remember singing the song once, and all of a sudden, something came out that I never did before, and I was like, it almost scared me. And I'm like, I asked the Lord to have His way, and I'm under His anointing, so it's like, okay. And what it did for me after that, I remember sometimes getting asked to sing songs that would usually be led by women. I was like, this is crazy, but it's like, I'm going to do it. I might be a little nervous. I'm going to go through this rehearsal and, give it everything I got, give it 100%. And it would keep happening. And I'm like, why is this happening? But I was like, it made me think about sometimes we have things within us that we're fighting against to come out. It's not always having to be this suppression of our issues, our problems, or something. You have parts of your talents and gifts and abilities in you that are fighting to come out, but you might be scared of them because you don't know what it's going to look like. You don't know what it's going to sound like. And that could be in any type of expression. You might want to do a business and you just like, oh, this is totally, I don't know. I'm a little scared about this. It's something I've never, but it's something in me that's telling me to do this. And it's something that's strange, it's usual, it's unorthodox. Maybe it is your sound. Maybe you're a singer. Maybe it's the way you dance. Maybe it's the way you write. Maybe it's the way that you teach. Maybe it's the way that you build. Whatever it is, it's something that's fighting in you to get out. Michael Jackson said when he was with the Jacksons, he knew when it got to a certain point, he had other things in him that needed to come out, and he just didn't know how to get it out. He had songs that he was starting to hear in his head. He had sounds that he never heard before. It took for him to do The Wiz and meet with Quincy Jones to then do the Off the Wall album. And here we go, hearing another type of style of Michael that no one ever heard, not with his brothers. Then Thriller comes, and y'all know what that was. And then as he continued, he evolved. But just think about if he would have stayed with his brothers and we never got the the true solo artist of Michael Jackson, we would have been robbed. So, also, an addendum to your homework. What are some things inside of you that you know you want to produce and do, but you might be afraid of it because it's something that you have never done, you never produced, and maybe something we've never seen before, but we need that, what we've never seen before. And no need to be worried about what people are going to say. And let me say this too. Sometimes we say that, and sometimes because you can be sensitive about your creativity and what you're putting out there, it's like your baby. It can kind of, you want it to be received well, but just making sure that you're not going to allow any criticism or talk or comments to keep you from continuing on. Sometimes you're like, I do want people to like it, but if you, I mean, everybody might not like it, but it's okay. I'm glad that I did this and I'm going to continue because somebody will. Fantasia said it best. She said, I might not bless you. I might not bless you. I might not bless you, but I might just bless you. Think about your favorite singer right now. They have a unique sound. Nobody else sounds like them, I hope. I don't know. Some things I hear now, I'm like, who is that? Who is that? They sound very similar. Think about it. Tina Turner, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston were all great entertainers, but they all were the same as far as in entertainment, but their sound and what they produced was totally different and something you will never see again. There are things in you that you need to produce that people have never seen before, but it's going to set you apart. And it might be unorthodox. It might seem strange to you, but it keeps fighting at you. So we don't want to keep suppressing that either, because guess what? One thing I do know is if you don't do it, because God put it in you because he knew you had the capacity to fulfill it. But if you don't do it, he'll give it to somebody else. And then you might even witness that person doing it. Like, that was something I wanted to do. Well, why didn't you move on it? And don't think that you have to do this and it happens immediately. But I don't know, because God can make things happen immediately. So, okay, I'm done, y'all. That's enough. I love y'all dearly. I hope that you all receive something out of this today. There's no need to suppress, no matter whatever it is. Free yourself from that unnecessary weight and baggage. Immediately. Immediately. No need to continue to push stuff down thinking that it's going to disappear. Let's deal with it. Okay? So I love y'all. Please share this. I hope that you all have an amazing rest of your Friday. Be good. Love good. And always, as I tell you guys, you've always been great. You're just getting better. And you're actually embracing it for the first time. You've always been great. You're just getting better. And getting better means that I no longer have to suppress things and hold things down. Even if it comes to the authenticity of who I am, I don't have to suppress that any longer. So, love y'all. I'll see y'all next Friday at what time? 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and the other, things too, other places too. And let me say this, I'm so thankful to see that there are so many of you also watching that have been watching that are overseas. So much love to you guys. I really appreciate that. I'm glad to hear that too. So anyway, I'm gone, y'all. And you're gone too. Enjoy the rest of your Friday or whatever time or whatever day you're watching this. And I'll see you next Friday. Bye, y'all.
Thanks for watching the Inspiration Station with Joshua Lenox. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.